up, everybody? Welcome to Using My Story. Today we're going to do a podcast with the one and only Mr. Dougie. How you doing, Mr. Dougie?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for joining. Excited to bring you on. So we always start by asking, what is your drug of choice and how long have you been sober?
My drug of choice is probably marijuana, bro. And sober off of marijuana or off of like all drugs completely? Probably like a week, bro.
Okay. Okay. So how about all right, so that's already a lot right there. So you've been sober for a week.
Yeah, but off of like harder drugs than marijuana,
Okay.
Like a year probably, or
Okay.
like 11 months or so.
So you haven't smoked marijuana in a week?
Maybe like close to a week. Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, I could say like
Classic.
close to a week.
Classic. If you were a tweaker, you'd be like, "Yeah, I haven't smoked in a year," and then you'd be like, "When did you really?"
Like
use it?"
last
Like,
night or
last
something.
night. Last night.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Okay, so so off of marijuana, that's interesting because a lot of people don't admit that marijuana is a drug.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's like
a plant, but like same. So is cocaine. You know, like
yeah. Wow.
in lines, bro.
It's a plant, but so is cocaine. I like that.
So is heroin, bro.
Oh,
Dang, even
okay, that's big because people have built like a religion off of marijuana. Like
Yeah.
it's like sacred to them, and
Rasta.
they won't ever admit that it's addictive. They just say, "I'm not addicted to it. I just don't want to stop smoking."
Oh no, it's addictive for sure.
So okay, I like that. So real quick, why don't you go into marijuana is your drug of choice? What makes you say it's addictive?
Because like when I don't have it, I'm like frustrated and I feel like anxiety or like I feel like the urge to pursue it and like go seek it out. You know, like if
Yeah.
I don't have it, I'm fiending for it, kind of. You know.
Mm-hmm. What's the craziest thing you ever did to get some weed?
It's, well, I gave some dude $20 one time. It was when I was like probably in 8th grade, and he took the $20 and me and my brother walked with him to his house, and he just went in the front door and went out the back door, hopped the fence and bounced, and he jacked me for my money, bro. So I'm like, dude, no way. So we're all banging on the door, like we weren't aware that he just ditched us. So then we like went through his back door and pushed it open and went like looking for weed through his whole house, but we didn't find none. We just found tobacco,
You
bro.
broke into his house for some weed?
Yeah.
Nice.
Real talk.
All right, so we're gonna switch gears a little bit. What was your childhood like?
I come from like a kind of like a broken home, low income. My mom and dad, like, my dad was a diesel mechanic, so he was like hardly ever home. He would leave like at 5 a.m, come back like late at night. And my mom, she was kind of depressed because my dad and her wouldn't get along all the time, and he was like stepping out on her and like hooking up with other girls and being like not a good husband. So it was kind of hard because my little brother started getting into trouble like when he was like 12, 13. And me being the older one, they would get mad at me for not helping, like keeping him from getting in trouble. So it's kind of like I got disciplined a lot, I guess you could say. And I had a lot of big dogs, so I would always have to pick up dog crap all day. That's what I remember of my childhood.
And what was it like when you first used marijuana? How old were you, and what was that like?
I was like 11 years old, and my dad, he partakes of the good bush. You know what I mean?
The good bush.
Yeah. My dad always grew marijuana and cultivated it and made hash and like, wax and extracts and can of butter and everything. And my dad like kind of enlisted me and my brother as his little like minions, He would like make us trim the weed and like cure it and everything and burp all the jars and like it's cool, I guess, like but not from that young of an age. Like it's just like engraved in my head, like always smoking weed and
Yeah.
And there was a joint in the front of on the front porch of my house, and my dad would always sit out there and smoke joints in the nighttime after work, right? But I remember there was like a pack of matches and a joint, and that was my first time using it. I just like sparked it up like pops and just like felt like cool, But I didn't even feel high really that time. I just was like I didn't know how to smoke then, and like you know, kind of like Bill Clinton. Just
Yeah.
I did not inhale. You know what I mean?
So your first time smoking was 11,
Yeah,
but you didn't get high that day.
I didn't feel high really. I was like, it was kind of like I smoked like half of it, and I was like coughing a lot, and don't really remember like feeling faded or nothing.
What was it like the first time you got high?
Dude, I remember we were hitting a gravity bong, bro. That was probably like when I was like 12 or
Some
13.
people don't know what a gravity bong is. What is
Oh,
a
it's like
gravity
a
bong?
water bottle, right? And you poke a hole right here and make like a little bowl on it, and you put it in water like a bucket, and you put the weed in the bowl at the top, and you light it and pull it up, and it pulls the smoke into the bottom, and then you take the cap off, and then push it down and breathe it all the smoke. But
And
yeah,
that
I
got
remember
you.
I was super high, dude. Like feeling nervous and like everything's all like. Yeah, I remember I felt like really, 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 really high. Like thinking that everyone could see the high in me, you know? Um, for real.
That's real right there. I think everybody can see the high in me.
I'm like, oh no. I felt like I was like, you know, red flagged.
Dang, that's real. So what was your favorite thing about marijuana?
Just like the feeling I would get, bro. Like I feel like, well, not the time when I was super over high, like, but typically, like, I would feel happy and joyful and laughing and, like, you know, joking around with my friends. I wouldn't like the dry mouth part or the red eyes, but I mean, like, I felt great. Like, it took the edge off, kind of, like, you know, made things seem a lot less stressful.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like there was any mental health symptoms that came with the marijuana addiction?
Oh yeah, like panic attacks or like anxiety or like just like nervous racing thoughts or like whatever, you know, like or like scatterbrain, you know, a little bit kind of not really focused anymore. Once I started smoking weed heavy, I started like losing my ambition or like I started not like I would want to succeed, but I wouldn't try as hard, you know what I mean? Like in
Mm-hmm.
school, I would just like whatever, like ditch and go smoke weed and like I didn't really put that much of an effort in after I started smoking weed.
Got it. A lot of people. That's another one. A lot of people. Some people, the people that have come out of it were like, "Yeah, weed makes you lazy." But then the people that smoke weed are like, "Nah, weed helps me focus." Weed
Yeah,
is
yeah. Like in high school, when I was in high school, I would smoke weed before school, and I would just look at the teachers' mouths and like try to like visualize the words and like really focus on what the teacher was saying. And, like I was able to like, I got kind of good scores like when I was or good grades, you know.
Yeah. So now that you're off, now that you're pretty fresh off of the marijuana, a week off.
Yeah.
What type of impact do you feel a week later? Like, what is that like?
I feel like I've had a cold or like a cough like the whole time so far. Like since like yesterday or the day before, I felt like sniffles and like kind of like a like coming down a little bit, and like feel kind of like weak or like sore, and like kind of like a headache a little bit, but nothing
Yeah.
really like I could like think past it or like you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
I could.
How about your mind? How sharp is your mind?
I still feel kind of foggy a little bit, bro. Like since it was like a week ago last time I smoked, I feel a little bit like cloudy kind of still.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's a big one that a lot of people struggle with. Now, like when I stopped smoking weed, I would feel how you said I would be agitated,
Hmm.
angry for no reason.
Yeah,
How about the cravings? What would
dude.
you say the cravings are?
I want to smoke right now, bro. But I mean, like I could block it out with God's help. But like I mean, on my own, like I would want to go score some pot and smoke. Or like if someone was passing a blunt around, I wouldn't like hesitate. Like you mean?
Yeah,
Like if it was coming my way, I'd probably
yeah,
partake.
yeah, yeah. Be like, God, if it's not your will for me to smoke, don't let
Yeah,
nobody
strike
pass
me
me
down
the
with the
blunt.
lightning bolt, Lord.
Because strike
Praise
me
God.
down right now. Because if you don't, I'm gonna puff this blunt.
Yeah, you best believe. No, I mean in Genesis it says God made all herb bearing seeds and it was good, but it doesn't say to smoke it though. So
Yeah. Hello. I like that. I like that. Okay, so you got all the clapbacks for all the ancient scholars that smoke the weed. So so now that you said your cravings are that high, what are some things that you're doing? Because a lot of people are gonna watch this, and a lot of people are ready to stop. They just need a little bit of reassurance, and they need some tips. So how have you gotten this week? Like a week is a good amount of time. So how are you doing that?
Honestly, I just with prayer and with every day when I wake up in the morning, I just try to get straight into the word and like straight into prayer. I put on like some worship music from the church and just give thanks to God and tell him how grateful I am and not focus on getting high, just focus on living,
So prayer
being
and the
thankful.
word and
And
being
sunflower
thankful.
seeds, honestly, like sunflower seeds
Yeah.
helps me not want to smoke cigarettes and weed as much, or like just get a hobby or something. Like,
Yeah. That's another big one is the people you hang around with.
yep,
So how are you? Because I know you have a lot of friends that still smoke. So how are you? Are you just staying away from them?
yeah. There's one of them that's still like somewhat in my life, and I feel like I could easily be like misled or like
Uh huh.
but I've been staying pretty strong with that one, like trying to like combat the urges or the temptation.
Are they smoking in front of you?
Yeah, sometimes they would be, or they would have like a big bag of a substance, and I would be like wanting to use it, but then I would remember that it's not healthy or not wise.
Yep. Yep. So let's talk a little bit about because you use spice, right?
Yeah, I used
K
spice
two.
before. K2, I used PCP even, bro. I
So
used
what was
shrooms.
your crazy experience? What was your craziest experience? Like
Like
on
on drugs?
on one of those? Yeah. Which
Oh,
one was the
dude, it was probably like dippers, bro, like a dipper
like
PCP,
Sherm?
a Sherm stick, bro. I was riding my bike, right? And I went to like I would frequently go to some some bar or something, like some sports bar in Bellflower to get all their cigarettes out their ashtrays because I was broke and I was homeless.
Mm-hmm.
But I found like a big old cool, like a big old cigarette, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh heck yeah, bro!" I grabbed it. I just sparked it up when I was riding my bike, and I remember everything. Like I was riding all good, and I just was hitting the cigarette, and after like 2, 3 hits, everything just started looking like a cartoon, bro. And I just felt like I was just riding my bike in the middle of the street, like yeah, having fun. And then when I came out of it, I remember I was in the middle of Woodruff and Alondra, in the middle of the whole intersection, and all the cars were just honking at me, bro. And I was just standing next to my bike. I'm just like standing next to my bike. I'm like, what the heck, bro? Like, I don't even remember, dude. Like, it was nuts,
Dang.
pretty much.
So, okay, so yeah, PCP is crazy.
Dude, way out. Maybe like the last time I smoked it was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. But I remember that I was on the side of the 105 freeway, and my buddies had like a dipper, right? And they had a little vial, and they just dipped the cigarette and like lit it right away. And they just were passing it around. I'm like, shoot, I'll try it. And what else am I got going for me? I'm like living on the side of the freeway, like I'm not missing out, or like I'm not like gaining much. I felt like miserable and depressed, so I just smoked it. Took like 2 or 3 hits, and then I felt like all of a sudden I felt like I was an astronaut, bro. Or like I was tethered to like that movie, like when
Yeah.
the freaking person's all like tethered to the
Yeah.
space center and stuff. Like, I don't know, it was weird. Like I felt like
Hey,
everything
I
was
smoked
going
it
crazy.
twice. What about that taste though?
Can never forget it,
It
bro.
tastes like death.
Yeah, like
something.
paint thinner or something crazy, like fire, dude. Like, oh, and right when you blow it out, it makes you have that rush, bro. Like all your skin, or all your hair all stands up, and you feel like all hypersensitive. Like, dude, I can't think about it very much more because it's gonna like trigger me to want to backslide, bro. No.
So what was your rock bottom like?
Oh, dude, rock bottom. That was like when I would just like lay down. Well, like I had rock bottom. I hit rock bottom like many times in my life, bro. Like in different ways. Like
What was the worst one?
the worst one was probably when I had my own apartment in El Monte, my own studio apartment that the government was paying for, and uh, I got I got arrested and incarcerated inside a mental health facility, and then when I got released, oh no, and then I went to county jail, and then Wayside, and then because some girl said I was beating her up, but I didn't even hit her. She just like falsely accused me of domestic violence, so I got a domestic violence charge, and they brought me to jail and brought me to county and everything. And when I got out, the locks were changed on my studio apartment, and all of my property the dude kept, and like he threw away a lot of it, and he kept like my couches and my refrigerator and everything. And I felt like my bike, my Jordans, my everything, my skateboards, everything is in the apartment. And he said he was going to call the cops on me. And I just had barely gotten out of jail, so I'm like, screw this. I bounced. Like, I'm not trying to linger and go back to jail. Like, no way. So then I didn't have anything after that. So I felt like crushed, bro. So I just wanted to go get drugs or like, just like a Band-Aid. Or I just wanted to change my mental faculties because I felt really down. So I got the drugs, I got high, and then the next thing you know, I'm living in the side of the riverbed in a tent, and it's raining, and the riverbed's filling up. And then I remember that I was like, another time, like around that same time, I remember I was in a tunnel at the riverbed near Carruthers Skate Park in Bellflower, and there was like a big storm or something, and I was just like so high with my friend that we were just like baked, like hanging out, and then all of a sudden the water's filling up because it's raining up in Azusa or something. So then we're trapped inside the tunnel, bro, and the water's like getting up to our waist, bro. Like, so we had to walk in circles. Like we'll just walk in circles to filter out, to push out the water to make a current so it would stay low enough to survive for real. And the backside was like a rebar. We couldn't get out, bro. And the front side was like the big old square door that you can't open because the water pressure is pushing against it. So it's like scary, bro. The whole night we just walked in circles like this, and just like shuffling our feet on the ground. Yeah, it was kind of nuts, bro. That time was nuts.
How'd you figure that solution out?
My friend already knew. His name was Scott River.
You already had experience.
Starman. Yeah, that was cool.
Starman.
His name was Starman. He was like an older white cat. He was cool.
Wow. So, what did you do to change? How did you finally break free from addiction?
Well, like a friend of mine named Melissa Cardenas, she went to some church, and then she invited me to go to church one time, and then I went because I was bored. I was probably high, and she was like, "No, our pastor says come as you are. You could be high. Come to our church." And I'm like, "I'll check it out, whatever." And I went, and I heard Pastor Jay. It was like straight for me, bro. Like the sermon was, or what he was preaching on was just right what I was going through. Like, my family problems and drug problems and everything. So I just started going to church, bro. And it kind of like little by little, it's helped me like stop wanting to get high as much.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's only the beginning too.
That's right.
How old are you?
Oh, I'm 36, bro.
Nice.
Born in 86.
I'm 85.
Hey, that's right.
Let's go.
Huh.
So, yeah, man, I'm excited for what's going to happen with your life. I think you're going to help a lot of people.
Me too, bro. I can't wait till I'm a leader at the church, bro. I can have my own Bible study.
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. What advice would you give someone who's struggling? We're going to end it with this, so
Right.
Let's go.
Anyone who's struggling, like, just be careful, dude. Like, pray or, like, just reach out for someone that could help you that's a little bit more sober than you are. And also give all your problems to God. All the heavy burdens you have on your shoulders or all the heavy weights that you're carrying, give it to God, bro, and he'll make your life so much easier. He'll let you have a light yoke instead of the heavy burdens, like all weighed down. You just have to give all your problems and stresses, just lay it down on the altar, bro, and God will pick it up easily, and you. Like, God will help you. No matter what, just pray. That's what I do, at least, and it's been working. Like, at times I wanted to kill myself, bro, so many times. Like, I would just want to give up. I would be, like, looking at places, like, where if I jump off that building, I wonder if I'll die. And, like, oh, look at these big old diesel trucks. I'm going to jump right in front of it and just end it all, jump right in the tires. But I never did, but those thoughts were in my mind. It's probably the devil, like, tricking me or something. But a lot of times I thought that was the way out. That's what I had to do. But I'm glad I'm still here for you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're glad you're still here, too. Thanks again for joining, man. If anybody needs help, if you know someone that needs help, if you need help, feel free to reach out. Share this video with anybody that might need some inspiration or someone that's struggling. Reach out to the link in the bio. Send me a message if you need more information on what we could do to help you. You're not alone, and thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.